Well, thank you for staying with us. From the political front, we move over to talk about that pathetic situation of residents of Buipe in the Savannah region. And we have a statement from the Bui Power that I will be reading, the Bui Power Authority. But just to introduce our guests for now, joining the conversation, we have Mustapha, Central Gonja Director of NADMO, and also in the fray, Isaac Nonya, Savannah Regional Correspondent. Let me start the conversation off with that press release from the Bui Power Authority debunking stories reported on myjoyonline.com and Joy 99.7 FM, supposedly saying that they have taken notice of an article published by these platforms titled "Flood from Bui Dam Spillage Leaves 1,500 Residents Displaced in Buipe," purporting that the flood from the Bui Dam spillage had left 1,500 residents displaced in Buipe, situated in the central Gonja district of the Savannah region. Bui Power Authority wishes to emphatically state that we have not been involved in any spillage activity. It is important to note that whenever there is the need to engage in a spillage, comprehensive measures are taken to provide adequate notice and education to all communities along the downstream river channels and all stakeholders. These measures are implemented to ensure the safety of lives and property before, during, and after spillage. We hereby strongly advise myjoyonline.com and Joy 99.7 FM to retract the publication and issue an apology through the same medium and refrain from making any further defamatory statements against the Bui Power Authority. And that is dated the 26th day of September 2023. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, obviously flooding causing this, we'll get to the discussion with our guests, but I'll start with Isaac Nonya. Isaac, so what is the latest that you can report as far as those displaced are concerned? Hello, Isaac, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. I was asking, what is the latest you can report? I know a lot of people have been displaced. What is the current, status of these people?
At the moment, 14 children had erected at the primary school for them to live in. And a few of them relocated to join some families outside the township. Currently, as Danbo said, that about 800 people were received yesterday from the tent, and many of them happen to be children and a woman. At development, they said they are very worried because, as we speak, there's no anything like food items to feed these people who are staying with them.
So basically, these people, how have they been able to keep body and soul together? What have they been doing?
Yes, the few who were able to go there with food items, at least I make do with it, and then I share it with our colleagues. We are told between now and tomorrow, they will be receiving some food items from the Savannah Regional Minister, Said Moaz Jibril. Apart from that, you will realize that the Ghana Red Cross has given some tents, and they are seeing mobilizing to relief items in terms of food packages for them. But as to when it will come, we don't know. Behind me are a number of houses that have been flooded, reduced. That must say that they be clean now and tomorrow, unless something else happens.
I see. So this obviously is on the back of the downpour a few days ago, right? I mean, it's the rain that caused the flooding. Hello, Isaac. All right, let me try to see whether I can get Mustapha to join the conversation. He is Central Gonja Director of NADMO. a very good morning to you.
Good morning, and good morning to our cherished listeners.
Right. So I was asking a question of Isaac. Maybe you can confirm for me. It is on the back of the rain a few days ago that this has happened, right?
Please, your line is not clear.
Can you hear me, Mbongra?
Can you repeat the question again?
Can you hear me now, Mbongra?
Yes. Now.
Okay. It appears you are also on the move, so you may have to maybe.
I'm just getting myself to a place where you can explain.
Good. I think that will enable the conversation. All I am asking is for your corroboration. So this was basically caused by the rains a few days ago, right? This flooding incident.
Thank you very much. With regard to that, is what we still cannot authenticate very well. Though the Bui Authority has debunked that they have not failed. But in Buipe, we don't have excessive rain as expected this year. Though yesterday we were made to know that the two rivers where they met at the confluence possibly might also contribute to this flood. That is per one of the technical men on ground. So that is our check. Because the water still coming. Yesterday, as at around 4 to 5, people left the market to their supply. They came their homes, all their mattresses were soaked in the water. A good number of people have to be displaced last evening, which is very bad.
But that's an interesting scenario. That's why I intentionally read the statement from the Bui Power Authority. Are you saying, as of now, we cannot confirm whether it was the rain a few days ago, specifically on Friday, or the spillage of the dam, which the Bui Power Authority says it did not conduct, that led to this? We can't confirm?
That is, we have to just rely on the rain. Because actually, Buipe itself, we don't have excessive rain as expected. This year, Buipe is not recording any massive rain. So that is a surprising thing. Where the water comes from is our problem.
I see.
Are you in place?
Yes, I am.
Yes, in Buipe, if you come, you confirm that Buipe, we don't receive the rains as other regions or other communities we have across the country. But the water keeps coming and destroying a lot of people.
So what you're saying is it is implausible that the rain caused this. There must have been something else, right?
Possibly. That is my assertion. But for Buipe, as we speak, if we were to have rain as we see other communities around, Buipe, the destruction that we have been having, it will have been more. Because if we're having more rains as we see around, coupled with the kind of water we are having now, the whole of the entire the community in which the flood is happening will have been evacuated completely. Seriously. Because we don't have rains at all in the place. The clouds will gather, maybe it will just drizzle from 5 to 10 minutes and off. So ideally in Buipe itself, we don't receive rain. But the water level keeps increasing. As at yesterday, in the evening around 4 to 5, the water level has increased beyond expectation. Meanwhile, we don't have it today in Buipe.
So there is no rain, yet the water keeps increasing.
Your reporter is currently in Buipe, and he can confirm and attest the fact that Buipe there's no rain. About 4 to 5 days now, we haven't received any rain, but the water level keeps increasing.
I see. That's an interesting scenario.
The reporter is in Buipe currently, and if anybody who is found Buipe and can attest the fact that Buipe about 4 to 5 days now, we have not had any rain. But the water keeps increasing, and more people are being displaced from their homes.
All right.
Your reporter is currently in Buipe, and he can confirm what I'm saying.
Okay. So how then do you take this statement from the Bui Power Authority?
Once they have, clarified that they have not failed. Because my argument was that last year they did, according to them, they did some testing or spillage, but without informing us formally. And they came to the community. But so we were thinking that possibly, but for the fact that the water that came last year could not also gone back, you understand that. And so coupled with the little rains that we have, also flooded. But I am still surprised because Buipe itself, we don't have rain.
All right.
So what is going on in Buipe is just a surprising thing to me.
All right. I think we've got that out of the way in terms of clarity. Now, in terms of those who have been displaced, we are looking at about 1,500 people. What relief efforts have been brought to bear on the ground for these people?
We are assessing the situation and compiling the report and sharing with our headquarters and other, as we speak, we share with our headquarters through our regional office, we share with the district assembly, we share with members of parliament, we share with other benevolent organizations, including some factories within Buipe. I think that one will be addressed soon with the authority that we sent with. But for now, what we are able to do is that Red Cross have been able to assist us with shelter keys. For now, we are camping them and we are assisting them with temporary accommodation. So with regards to any other relief item that will come, that one our authority, higher authority, must speak on that. But for now, we haven't received any authority from either the assembly or our headquarters or any member of parliament. So we are still waiting on them. But the people need immediate assistance because
and that was exactly what I was about to get to. Some of them don't even have food to eat, so they don't have shelter. How do you expect them to stay alive in these conditions?
That is a fact. As for that one, it's a fact because we are with the people. We see how stressful they are. In fact, they are going through a lot of trauma, and indeed we use your platform to appeal to our headquarters and a member of parliament and all other agencies that got this information to quickly mobilize and come to the aid of the people.
Who is the member of parliament for that area specifically?
Honorable Abdullah John Jinapo is a member of parliament for Yato Kusovo.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Is part of Yato Kusovo constituency.
All right. I hear there are attempts to reach him to join this conversation so we can find out what he is doing in his capacity. Of course, always there is some assistance from the members of parliament. But then, what does this mean? What next for the people? Days, no food, no support, no shelter. It is only those who were able to live with a little food who have some sustenance. What next for them?
That is what we sympathize with the people because they are now in the trying times. And naturally, we as NADMO at the district level, we sympathize with the people. And it is good you all support us to share this information to everybody that matters, that can come to the aid of the people. Because they are going through a lot of hell. Because the number that we see being displaced is not expected of us. We were not expecting that great number. And as that, even the how to bring them together to accommodate them is a challenge to us because today, if we bring all of them together, we may not be able to take care of them because we haven't heard from any of our big authorities, the higher authorities. So we are calling on everybody and our authority to come to the aid of these victims.
So as it stands now, before I go back to Isaac Nonya, as it stands now, you're saying that as the Central Gonja NADMO Directorate, there's very little you can do for these people. Your hands are tied until you hear from HQ.
Exactly.
Hold for me, Mbongra. Let me bring back Isaac Nonya. Isaac, can you hear me?
Yes, Benjamin.
Great. So I'm sure you are privy to that. I'm sure you are privy to that statement from the Bui Power Authority. It's interesting because Mbongra says there's been no rain in Buipe in a number of days, yet the water still keeps coming into that area. And the Bui Power Authority also says it has nothing to do with any spillage. What can you tell us? Is there any update on that in terms of the source of this flooding?
Yeah, Benjamin, your guess is as good as mine because somebody somewhere is not telling us the truth.
All right, we'll try to...
Assuming that at least what everybody say now.
All right, Isaac, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to, and that is what I thought we would have done by now, we're going to try to call you on the phone lines so that we can have that interaction without any hitches. I appreciate that the connectivity may not be too good from where you are connecting with us. But Mbongra, very quickly, it appears from the little that we've got from Isaac Nonya that he is as surprised as you are. And he suggests that someone is not telling the truth.
Hello?
Mbongra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm saying that while we try to reconnect with Isaac Nonya, I am saying that the little we got of him before the connectivity issues, he is saying that he is as surprised as you are and that someone is not telling the truth.
Your question is not clear, please.
Can you hear me?
No, yes, I can hear you. But
Okay,
the question is not clear.
just hold for me. Hold for me. Let me go to Isaac. I'll come right back to you. Isaac, you were making a point suggesting that someone wasn't telling the truth.
Benjamin, somebody is not telling the truth in the sense that the questions are asking. If last year the Bui Authority still did the dam, and they're concerned by London officials here, and then this year, the same authority contacted 5 district directors of London, Bole, Buipe, Banda, and that of Mustapha law, to submit a budget for them to come around. They use 7 days to certify people to stay along the river bank because their water level was so high. And if that budget was submitted, and Bui Dam has not gotten back to them, the question is, why did they come to tell the officers to submit a budget? Have they come to educate the people? If no, have they spilled the dam? They have not spilled the dam. But they said the water was high. Because as the last they listened, it has not rained for a number of days now. By the time there, the water keeps on increasing. We have close to the main market of Buipe also being flooded. We saw families flooded in their rooms. So unless government should come in, as the regional minister suggested, they will come in officially to bring that more and then bring them together. Because all know that the black water shares its source with breeders, while the white water around Buipe, not Gonja side, shares its source with the breeders. So where from this water? We don't need to come for, we have to come again. We are not saying to fill the water, but they need to examine the sources. Yesterday, I was from Bamboy, and somebody told me that the water level was high, but of late you see that it's moving towards up here. So when will that water will flow into the Bamboy River? Because they come to them that no rain this year. So it's high time the two bodies, NAGBO from the agencies, and then the Bui authorities sit down with government to make sure that anytime anything wants to happen regarding spillage, they need to come together and then do the needful. Or last year it happened, this year it has happened. You don't know next year, the subsequent year, what will happen, whether it will be the worst or not. I will speak, and lot of people who are supposed to be in the camp at home, they are not going to camp because all the camps are met. When you are entering there's a community that named Sawaba. You're all affected. That it has gone beyond Sawaba to 2 other communities, getting closer to this junction, 25 kilometers away from Buipe. So where is that water coming from? Is it rainfall? Certainly no.
And unless maybe the water is coming from the ground or something.
Assuming it's coming from the ground, where was that water from? Was it from the largest village? The largest village of Bui Dam, was it from that one? Because obviously, if the ground is certified from the last year's water, any water not coming to that environment will resources. So the ground is not good. And the aspect that you raised regarding the relief actions, no official, apart from the Ghana Red Cross Society, that supplies the 14 family tents to them. No food, no water, nothing. The other facility added, the 6 plus that was added to them. It's almost for 11-1 to occupied. And according to NADMO, as of yesterday, instead of 70, 80, yesterday they gathered 100 people, and a good number of them were children and pregnant women.
Isaac.
I'm here.
Yes. So that's this is a very troubling situation from our end, especially because we cannot even determine the source of the problem. For starters, it's very problematic. The water keeps coming, as Mbongra has rightly stated, and you can't even tell what the source is. And the Bui Power Authority is saying, we are not responsible and we don't know. And it's not raining, so it means it cannot be the rain over the last 5 days at least that have caused this. And that must be very confusing for the people who are stranded and have nothing, no assistance as of now, because NADMO is also, they have their hands tied. So how have the people basically been getting by?
Benjamin, let me tell you this. As of last year's village, the chief of Buipe, the Power Authority, in an interview, confirmed that the payment was from Bui. The DC, Kamara, confirmed was from Bui. The number confirmed. But Bui came and denied last year, only for them to come back to the chief to confirm that they failed. Now, the chief also told them after he was confirmed that we shouldn't say what he told us earlier on. It's obvious that somebody is being economical with the truth. They want to look to the eyes of people and tell the truth. Because some of the residents we spoke to, one other person, made the same thing. Now look, this year would not have no rain. This water is from the top. Where is that from? That Bui Dam. That was the allegation he said he did.
Right. So this is a pretty delicate situation. We're just hoping that in the coming hours and, maybe throughout the day, we can get some assistance. Mbonra, we're grateful that you were able to join us for this conversation. And we wish you the very best on that endeavor. Mbonra Mustapha is Central Gonja Director of NADMO. And we also had, just a short while ago, Isaac Nonya Savannah, our Savannah regional correspondent. So very interesting commentary from both ends. But let's now introduce into the conversation Abdul Rashid Hassan Pelpuo, Member of Parliament, Wa Central. A very good morning to you, sir.
Hello, good morning, my brother.
I don't know how good the morning is on the back of this latest development. You represent that caucus, pushing for something to be done about this situation. How did you receive the news?
Well, I thank you so much. I received this news with a lot of pain and disturbance. The fact that we have this perennial problem and we have no answer to it. Now we are even arguing whether it is because of the Bagri Dam or because of rain. It shows lack of scientific approach to this whole issue. And it also shows lack of commitment as to what exactly will reduce our yearly food supply. It's just not about the people who are suffering now. It's about the totality of our food stock being hampered by situations that we can easily understand and control. And we seem not to be caring much about it. It's a disturbing situation.
Now, from where you sit, it's been a few days now. There's no relief support, so to speak, from NADMO. They are also sitting, waiting for some goods or logistics to come from HQ. So Central Gonja NADMO has its hands tied. In the meantime, about 1,500 people have been displaced. How do you feel about that?
It's part of the general lukewarm attitude of this present situation we have, present governance system we are seeing. Anything about planning ahead, about development, about issues that can be analyzed scientifically and with approaches that can solve the problem are relegated to the background, except when they say, oh, there's a load coming, then everybody is up and doing and running. But that's wrong. We need to plan ahead. You know that this is a perennial problem. You don't need to go to Burkina to say, have you opened the dam before? You should plan ahead and say that within this period and this period, these are likely to happen. What are the alternatives we are going to use? Then you plan it and let us understand exactly what you are doing. And then you can approach the situation scientifically and with approaches that can, relieve the people of this yearly pressure they have. They have no such understanding of it. And look at NADMO. NADMO by this time should have had a satellite view from Ghana, view what exactly is happening there. And you can report by yourself that, look, we have watched the place. This is the river line coming from into Ghana. Now water is flowing there at this volume. Between this time and this time, it will hit Ghana. So we need to prepare about it. And last year, experience should have gotten us a feeling that this time we would have to prepare adequately, provide the needed resources because it's likely to happen. how come that in the United States, I'm just using it as an example, not because we are equal to the United States. Somebody will call and say, oh, look, you are using the United States. We are not equal to them, but we are practicing their democracy. We are riding their cars. We are happy about them, but we don't want to practice the things that can help us. They are able to project and say that, look, at this time, a hurricane will hit this place, so the people will be evacuated. They will do A, B, C, D. You can copy a lot more things that are more expensive than just doing a satellite vision and projecting that. And then you cannot copy this simple technology. Even if you don't have the technology right now, it is purchasable. We can buy it. You can even contract a company to do it for us. So we understand that between now and next week, flood will be coming to your country. You need to plan towards it. So I think that it's a disturbing situation that a whole people are subjected to this situation on perennial basis, and we are unable to solve the problem, and we are throwing our hands. NADMO is throwing its hands. It's even sitting down. They are saying there are no resources coming. From where? You didn't plan for it. And if it were to come from government has not planned for it. And government is as helpless as I am here and the poor people. So what is the use of paying money to them and getting them to do all the things they are doing? Paying salaries, getting them to ride cars and
right,
et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So we are let down by our own government.
Thank you for joining the conversation, Abdul Rashid Hassan Pelpour. He is Member of Parliament, Wa Central. Before that, we had Mbonwura Mustapha, Central Gonja Director of NADMO, joining the conversation, and Isaac Nonya, our Savannah Regional Correspondent. Sometimes I ask myself, maybe we should shift our political season to the rainy season so that voting will happen in that season, so that if you've not done the right thing and there's flooding and the rest, people will not go out and vote. Maybe that's one of the ways to get our political actors to sit up. Because if people are not coming to vote for you, maybe you'll think twice. These things happen, and look at these people, stranded. You wouldn't want to be in their shoes. Stranded, completely stranded. No food, no real accommodation, exposed to the elements. What a country. This is still the AM show. We'll be back with a bit more. Do stay.